Okay, good evening, everybody. Madam Clerk.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record and the Stars Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act and recent regulations issued by the state of New Jersey, the following procedures will be in effect for public comment during this remote public meeting of the City Council. The public shall have an opportunity to comment during the designated public portion of this meeting. The time period for public comment is limited to 3 minutes for each speaker, and no person may address the council more than once, except for speaking during an advertised public hearing for an ordinance. At the time designated for public comment, the mayor or other presiding officer of the council will recognize one speaker at a time. That speaker must identify himself or herself by full name and whether or not she is a resident, whether or not she resides in Hackensack. No other member of the public is permitted to speak unless recognized by the presiding officer, and other remote attendees may be muted during that time if necessary to eliminate background noise. Meeting attendees shall exhibit appropriate demeanor during this meeting as required by Section 37-15 of the City Code. In the event any member of the public becomes disruptive at any time, that individual may be muted by the presiding officer and will receive a warning that continued disruption may result in being prevented from speaking or removed from the meeting entirely. The Zoom meeting platform has a texting function. However, this is to be used only for the purpose of advising the city's IT staff of any technical concerns or issues. The public may also submit written public comments to be audibly read into the record by the city clerk during the public portion of any remote public meeting of the City Council. Comments can be submitted by regular mail or by email to asabi@hackensack.org. Comments received less than 5 hours before the start of a meeting may be carried to the next meeting. Any person who actually speaks during the public comment portion of a remote public meeting may not also have a comment read into the record. The city clerk will stop reading a written comment into the public record once it reaches the 3-minute limit. Duplicate written comments may be summarized and noted for the record in a consistent manner.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Here.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Okay, Frank, could you bring up the flag, please? Would everybody please rise and salute? I pledge allegiance to the
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. It's with great sadness that I have to report tonight, and I'm sure most of the city knows already, that past former councilman, Mr. Chuck McAuliffe, passed away last week or earlier in this week. Our prayers, heartfelt prayers go out to his family. Chuck's a longtime Hackensack resident. He served the city as councilman, I believe, from 2005 to 2009. He served his country honorably. He was a well-known veteran in the city of Hackensack and was always there at our Veterans Day and Memorial Day services. And he will be missed. He was our opponent at the time, but he was also our friend at the time. And I give him, like I always said, I give anybody who sits in these chairs and does what any elected official does at this level, I give them a lot of credit. So we'll miss you, Chuck. And if we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you, everybody. The proclamation tonight I'd like to read, if I may. And it reads, from the office of the mayor of the city of Hackensack, whereas in 1976, Black History Month was formally adopted to honor and affirm the importance of Black history throughout our American experience. And whereas African Americans have played a vital role in the history of this country and the state of New Jersey from the early days of the pioneers to our present day leaders. In all things that made this country great. And whereas Black History Month is a time for all Americans to reflect on the rich history and teachings of African Americans, and I encourage everyone to participate in Black history ceremonies, activities, and educational programs. And whereas the struggle for equality for Black Americans is ongoing, and the people of the United States should continue to be determined and vigilant in the ongoing struggle for equality. And whereas each February we pause to reflect on the contributions of the Black community to our national identity, especially at a time when we celebrate our first Black Vice President, Kamala Harris, our young poet laureate Amanda Gorman, and remember the passing of civil rights leader icon John Lewis. Now therefore be resolved that the city of Hackensack commemorates February as Black History Month, and I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim February as Black History Month in the City of Hackensack. Thank you for that. We have no minutes to approve, so we're going to go right on to the City Manager's report. Ted?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is the City Manager's report for February 9th, 2021.
Ted, excuse me. Ted, do you want Susan to go first or after you?
Oh, no, that's a good idea. Susan's kind enough to hang. Susan, please. I'm sorry.
Hello, everyone. So I just wanted to give a quick update about COVID-19 vaccine within the city of Hackensack.
Susan, can I stop in 1 second and just say, I introduced you the last time. This is a new meeting, so it would be separate. Susan McVeigh is our health officer for the city of Hackensack. Please proceed.
Thank you. So over the last several months, the Hackensack Health Department has been taking steps to provide COVID-19 vaccine clinic for eligible residents, particularly our seniors and those without available transportation to one of the large sites in our county. Both myself and our health educators have reached out to community partners, our local churches, BVMI, which is Bergen Volunteer Medical Initiative, Hackensack Medical Center, and the Hackensack Housing Authority. So we're all doing a part to get those vaccines to the people within the city. Unfortunately, on February 6th, the State Health Department notified us that local clinics will not be receiving vaccine, that all the state issued vaccine will go to the county at Newbridge. So what happens is the state gets an allotment of vaccine and they distribute it. So they distribute it to the county and the county would distribute it to the small pods and the local health departments. And at this time, we won't be able to get vaccine until further notice. Hopefully that won't be very long because as vaccine becomes more readily available, they'll be able to distribute it. There are vaccine site links on hackensack.org on the first page, as well as the State Department hotline, which is 855-568-0545. On today's vaccine call with the state, Assistant Commissioner of Health, Dr. Adenario, said the state will expand the network when supplies increase and new vaccine is approved. They're working on getting J&J's vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine approved. If it is approved, it'll be available in early March. We're hoping to get some vaccine before then, and the manager's office will be notified, as well as the mayor and council on hackensack.org. I'm available if there's any questions.
Okay, any questions? Any questions for Susan? Hearing none. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Susan, thank you for staying on. I appreciate it. Okay, this takes me back to the city manager's report for February 9th, 2021. Due to the rise in COVID-19 cases in our area, city offices will still remain closed to the public until further notice. Please refer to hackensack.org for our department phone directory and assistance. 2, garbage collection will return to 2-day per week collection on Monday, February 22nd. Proper notification are scheduled for the public. Please refer to hackensack.org for more information. 3, winter operations. Please be advised that all no parking signs remain in effect unless otherwise advertised via Nixle or our website. After winter storms, all residents must follow these no parking regulations as tickets will be issued. 4, COVID vaccine update. The city is working diligently to get a vaccine clinic up and running. Please be patient and we will get this organized and receive our weekly vaccine order. Our goal is to assist as many residents as possible. Please refer to the website and contact of our health department for additional information. And that would be Susan McVeigh, who just presented just prior to this information. 5, COVID testing information. Please refer to our website for testing dates at Bergen Community College and for any additional COVID updates in our community. And just for the record, I just want to repeat this so residents that don't watch the Council of the Whole meeting about parking and no parking signs, especially for winter operations. The city of Hackensack has not seen a snowstorm like this one since 1996. So a 2-foot snowstorm is not the norm, thank God. Alternate side no parking signs are used for the following purposes: street sweeping, emergency no parking for road repairs, snow removal, and plowing. Alternate side parking signs are for certain hours so city workers have the ability to service the roadway if needed. Suspension of alternate side parking is not always beneficial to the city residents because then we can't properly clean our roadways on those identified days. Note, please note that this means that every roadway is not, strike that. This does not mean that every roadway is guaranteed snow removal because the vehicles have been moved. As a courtesy, the city of Hackensack has arranged that the Atlantic Street parking garage and the shops at Riverside to be parking locations during snowstorms of 2 inches or more. Residents are urged to park in their driveways. By parking in the street, your roadway cannot be plowed curb to curb. The final reminder is residents are not permitted to throw snow into the roadway to clean their car, sidewalk, or driveway. We will continue to look at alternate places for people to park. We understand that these major snowstorms become a hardship for people, and we all work as a community to try to resolve these conflicts as we do. And that would complete the city manager's report for February 9th. Thank you.
Mi batería se está acabando.
You ready, Madam Clerk?
Todo se está apagando.
Ready.
Resolution 51-21.
This is a resolution for the final adoption of ordinance number 3-2021, an ordinance authorizing the private sale via quick claim deed for certain real property that may be owned by the city of Hackensack on block 315, lot 34, otherwise known as lot D, that is the subject of an overlapping ownership claim with the contiguous property owner of block 315, lot 21. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now called for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public, please?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to this ordinance and this ordinance only, please give your name to the clerk. Hearing none, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
Call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus. Mayor.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to read the I did it again. Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 3-2021 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Resolution 52-21.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 4-2021, an ordinance to amend chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Vehicles and Traffic to remove a handicapped parking space from section 49.2, parking for the handicapped on Club Way.
Motion to introduce the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 4-2021 as introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on February 23rd, 2021 at 7:00 PM or as soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 53-21.
A resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 5-2021, an ordinance adopting the 400 Main Street redevelopment plan for the delineated redevelopment area consisting of block 403, lots 1 through 6, 11, 13, 15, and 16.
Need a motion to introduce the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus. Mayor.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 5-2021 is introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on February 23rd, 2021 at 7:00 PM or as soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 54-21.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 6-2021, an ordinance creating chapter 99 of the Code of the City of Hackensack entitled Hotels and Motels.
Need a motion to introduce the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 6-2021 as introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on February 23rd, 2021 at 7:00 PM or as soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 55-21.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 7-2021, an ordinance to amend chapter 175 of the Code of the City of Hackensack zoning to declare that extended stay hotels and extended stay motels are prohibited uses in all zone districts in the City of Hackensack.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 7-2021 is introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on February 23rd, 2021 at 7:00 PM or soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 56-21.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for duplicate payments.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
second,
All in favor? I'm sorry, roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye,
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 57-21.
A resolution approving the memorandum of agreement between the city of Hackensack and the New Jersey State Policemen's Benevolent Association, Local Number 9.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
second,
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye,
Councilmember Pataglia.
aye,
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 58-21.
This is a resolution approving the memorandum of understanding between the city of Hackensack and the New Jersey State Policemen's Benevolent Association, Local Number 9, agreeing to the terms and provisions of a new working schedule commencing July 1st, 2021.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
second,
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye,
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. We're pulling resolution 59-21, correct?
Correct.
Yes, I just didn't have time to pull it off of the docket, so it's out.
Resolution 60-21.
This is a resolution authorizing 2021 emergency temporary appropriation.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
second,
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye,
Councilmember Pataglia.
aye,
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 61-21.
This is a resolution authorizing the awarding of change order number 1 for the fire signal aerial boom truck for $7,962.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
second,
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye,
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 62-21.
A resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Need a motion to pay the bills, please?
Offer.
second,
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye,
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Okay, looking at the consent agenda, does anybody have a conflict? Hearing none, move forward, please.
The following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed in the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of resolutions 63-21 through 67-21. Resolution 63-21 is a resolution authorizing endorsement of proposed Bergen County Community Development Grants for 2021. Resolution 64-21 is a resolution authorizing board and commission appointments. Resolution 65-21, resolution concurring with Planning Board's redevelopment investigation findings regarding Block 302, lots 1, 2, and 27, and designating them as an area in need of redevelopment for non-condemnation purposes, otherwise known as 132 Main Street. Resolution 66-21 is a resolution authorizing a fair and open window contract with New Prince Construction Concrete Construction Company, Inc. for Johnson Park entrance driveway improvements. And Resolution 67-21 is a resolution designating the Bergen County Improvement Authority to act as the redevelopment entity for the properties identified on the City of Hackensack's official tax map at Block 301, lots 1 and 6, and Block 204.01, lot 28, within the probation site redevelopment plan area.
Okay, I need a motion to adopt the consent agenda as it was read, please.
Offer.
Second,
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus. Mayor,
Thank you, Deb. Aye.
okay.
Okay. Thank you for that, Deb. And with that, I need,
Steve, before you open up to the public, did you want to mention the,
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yes, I just because I didn't make this announcement earlier, just to put on the record that as is typical, we held a closed session at 5:00 p.m. prior to the start of the COW meeting, at which time litigation was discussed, specifically 2 tax appeal matters, one involving 3 University Plaza and the other involving Continental Plaza. So just want to put that on the record so that everybody knows what we talked about in terms of litigation. Thank you.
okay, thank you for that. Okay, I need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Okay, anybody from the public who would like to speak? Please,
Yes,
you have 3
Victor.
minutes.
Victor from Hackensack. Please do not, interrupt me. I want to have my complete 3 minutes, but after this, you can
Victor, can you
respond.
just give us your last name though, please? We need your
Geddes.
last name for the record.
Geddes.
Thank you.
Geddes.
Appreciate it. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Ted, I live in Hackensack. I live on Hamilton Place. You guys have not even, you talk about go to these parking lots. Number one, I'm handicapped. So I can't go to, and I use my car every day to go to my therapy and stuff. I can't go to no Atlantic Street, or I can't go to no Riverside Mall. You guys are not cleaning the streets. So why would you make the residents move? You're not cleaning the streets, Ted. You know that. Okay, now you can answer that later. Now, I'm reading it from an article that was put up by the city council, I guess PR firm, where they are talking about lowering property taxes, restoring honesty and integrity to city government. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. There's no integrity with this council. We know that you got a councilman going in front of a city board member, school board member, shouting, disturbing the residents over the way he voted, and you guys didn't like the way he voted. Come on, are you kidding me? You're not even integrity. What about the sunshine laws? Stephanie, you should read up on that because you're part of that little thing with the Board of Edge too. Now, another issue I have with this article. What hundreds of affordable houses that are being developed? Please tell me. You guys were just happy, overwhelmed, but we only got 60 developments. Where's the hundreds at? Please show me where the hundreds at. You guys got to be kidding me. Honesty? Show me where the honesty is at in that statement. Hundreds of affordable houses. You had an opportunity to make affordable housing in a new development. You chose not to engage the developers in putting in affordable housing and some of them in their developments. That's all I got to say right now. I'm waiting for an answer, Ted, about this snow. And you tell me, should I go to Riverside? Are you going to provide me a vehicle from my home back and forth when I need my vehicle? Or are you going to plow the street? Thank you.
Ted, would you like to answer that question?
I'll give it my best response, Mr. Geddes. For starters, I had no idea that you had a physically challenged issue or that you were handicapped. I'm sorry, I did not know that. That's on an individual basis. On a citywide basis, we're providing alternatives to residents so they have some place to park. And the only two locations that have been identified is the Atlantic Street Garage or the shops at Riverside. At that end, the city at this point has no additional parking to provide. You're talking about the biggest snowstorm we've had in probably almost 2 decades. Unfortunately, it affected a lot of people. But to offer suggestions that I can individually provide service to residents, that's not even in the realm of possibility.
Okay, Ted, thank you. All right, now I'm going to step in. A couple of things. Stephanie, have you ever met at a Board of Ed meeting with more than 2 council members present at one time?
Never.
Mrs. Canestrino, you're on that committee that meets with the Board of Ed. Have you ever been in a council meeting when there's more than 2 council members at a time?
Never.
So I'm gonna ask Mr. Geddes to please email me at my city email address, whatever information you have saying Stephanie in particular, because you've singled her out twice now, please give me the information where she has broken the sunshine law. I know you've said it's at a Board of Ed where they meet with the Board of Ed monthly, which is something the city has started so we can get a good relationship going with the Board of Ed and work together. I don't know whether you're aware of the sunshine laws or not aware of it, but they are allowed to meet 2 at a time. They can't meet 3 at a time because you can't have a quorum, but they can meet 2 at a time, and there's nothing wrong with it. So I need you to be more specific if you're going to keep making accusations about our city council members. And I also think, you know, I feel bad for, I hope there's no DPW workers out there watching this right now after, you know, driving 38 trucks for like, 16 hours straight through this snow event, saying we didn't plow any streets, which is just mind-boggling that you could just blurt out that we never plowed the street. So you're telling me, I don't know what street you live on, but a plow never came down your street. And the point we're trying to make with the cars, all right? For you to make that comment, like, why should a city person move? We're giving people an opportunity to get their cars off the street so we can plow the streets better. I don't know of a municipality in the city or in the state or the county that do that for their citizens. I don't know of one. I've never heard of it before. All right. I tell people at work, this where I work, and they're like, wow, that's incredible that you offer that. And unfortunately, I guess you just think it's terrible that we offer a place for you to put your car. Now, your handicap aside, and again, I'm sorry that you have that situation. None of us knew that, but that's irrelevant to the fact that we're offering a service. I can't believe you're actually taking something positive and trying to spin it as negative. And you guys say you're not political. It's ridiculous. Integrity, I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. Next person from the public, please.
Okay, this is Bridget of Hackensack. Oh, Jesus, Lord, help me, Father. Okay, I am going to also make a comment about that article. I know this article is written by your PR firm. What I will say is that your PR firm truly needs to not take the city council's words, because what he said here is that you guys are Hackensack by attracting the $1 billion in redevelopment investments into the city and lowering property taxes and restoring honesty, integrity to city government, building new parks and recreation. Okay, with all of that being said, a person with integrity acts with honesty, honor, and truthfulness. That is what integrity means. No, I am not political. I am a resident. I pay taxes. But what I am, I'm a very woke African-American woman. And what that means is I believe in my community. But do I believe in my city? Absolutely not. Do I believe the people who are in leadership of this city? Absolutely not. So when you talk about integrity, it's like I said before, those that throw stones at glass houses should not. There is no integrity. There is no honor. There is no honesty. There is no truthfulness, because the article goes on to read that you're creating hundreds with an S of affordable housing. Mayor LaBrosse, Kathy Catastrino, anybody else, you guys sit on the planning board. You're not creating hundreds of affordable housing. You took yourselves to court to sue yourselves with the fair share housing, so no resident can sue you based upon affordable housing. So my thing here is,
Believable.
no, you're gonna say believable, but it's truth.
Let's say unbelievable. Go ahead.
Oh, unbelievable? You can't say that because it is truth. It is absolute truth.
Okay.
I research. I don't just say stuff. I bring facts because I research. I connect with people in the state of New Jersey, in the community affairs department, in fair share housing. So no, I do my research. You guys are not creating hundreds of affordable housing. You're creating what you went to court for, and that's 10% in future buildings. But if you were smart and you had leadership and you had honesty and you had inclusion, guess what would have happened if you had put affordable housing in those 18 buildings that you have downtown? Guess what that would have did? You would have surpassed affordable housing. You wouldn't even have to take yourselves to court for that. So my thing here is, no, the unbelievable part is that you would have your PR firm say and talk about integrity. There is none. You just have to look in the mirror, guys. What you have done is not inclusion, not leadership. What you continue to do is called segregation and redlining.
Oh,
That's
God.
where this goes. So you have to look at yourself. I keep trying to tell people, America is built on peel back the layers. And when you peel back them layers and you get to look at yourselves in the mirror, then you'll get to see what this is really all about. That's how this works. We wouldn't have racism, segregation. We wouldn't have none of this. People need to know the truth about history. And in Black History Month, let me just give you an idea. We built this joint for free. Remember that. And as much as we contribute, remember that as well. Because the elevators you go up and down every day, created by a Black man. The lawnmower that you push, created by a Black man. The washing machine that you wash your clothes in, created by a Black man. You understand do you see where I'm going with this? So if you're really true about leadership, John, and you're not talking about segregation, those 18 buildings would have had affordable housing in them, and you would have surpassed the goal of affordable housing. And this would not even be a conversation. Okay, thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right, I'm going to make comments, but I'm also have a funny feeling that Deputy Mayor Canastrino would like to comment on this. I'm not sure or not. If you'd like to start, Kath, otherwise I'll just go.
John, I've explained this so many times that I feel like I should have made a recording. I'll try one more time, okay? And I'll try and be as brief as possible. When we first came into office, one of our main objectives was to enable people, that current residents in our town, to be able to afford to stay in our town. And the only way to do that was to stabilize the taxes, was to bring the biggest return on our investment that we could, to bring the most money that we could into the city, to pay off old debts, to repair infrastructure that was neglected for years and years, decades of neglect, and to get the taxes stable so folks could afford to stay here. That was one of our primary goals. Yes, John, right? And the way to do that was we had an unclaimed jewel in our downtown That was a way to bring money into this city. And that's exactly what we've been doing, is bringing money into the city. Next phase, again, where do we go from here? We're looking at stabilizing taxes, and we're looking at maintaining the integrity of our neighborhoods and supporting everyone that lives in the city. And yes, that does include affordable housing. To develop affordable housing, you need a nice little bankroll to support it, to enable it to happen. And again, we don't want to go to our taxpayers for that money. So part of it was getting the developers and the redevelopment in our downtown to contribute to that, which we have over $2 million in right now to enable us to take that next step. Also, had to get all of this approved by Fair Share Housing. And now we're just finalizing our spend plan so that we can afford to do these things. No such thing as red line. You're drawing conclusions that have absolutely no basis in fact. When we came into the city, the ordinances of the city had two things. Either you pay a percentage in lieu of affordable housing or you build it, right? Downtown, we maintain that existing ordinance. You do pay or you build. Always encouraged to build, always. It's not inexpensive and it's not without a lot of upfront work and approvals to build affordable housing. It's a rigorous process, but we're determined to make that happen. So these overlay zones, no one is saying that you can't build affordable housing anywhere in the city. We're just saying, look at where we are with the downtown. Where's it going to grow to next? Most of the overlay zones are surrounding the downtown, where we're going to see increased development without affecting our real neighborhoods that we promised our city we would not do. And all the overlay zone says is, okay, the rule is out here, 10% affordable is built or you pay the money. Guess what? As we expand and go into the overlay areas, you can't buy out of it. You must build affordable housing in the straight and narrow, no variances, no changes. This is what must happen. Now, I don't know, and Fair Share Housing is the one that guided us here. This is, to me, one of the best ways to guarantee that affordable housing is going to be accomplished. So again, I think you have to get your facts straight, Ms. Rucker, because that's the basis of what's happening in the city. And that's the basis of what's been approved by the affordable housing in this state and the judge that sat and listened to it. And that's our intent. Yes, if you look at what the affordable housing proposal is laid out, plus some recent contacts that we've had, I do think that we can get hundreds of affordable housing built. And we are going to do whatever makes the most sense for the city and its residents. And we pledge that from day one.
Okay, so the first statement I'm going to make is Kathy made a point where they had an option to build or they had an option to pay into. Had we not given an option, I can tell you this. You said about you mentioned the 18 buildings that are going up downtown. It's a little less than that downtown, but had there been no option and there was a 10% mandatory affordable housing requirement, you know how many buildings would have gone up? Zero. Nobody would have built. We know they weren't going to build it. It wasn't going to happen. Not with a pilot. It would destroy the pilot. It would make it impossible for them to build it financially and make money. So you need to research a little financing on redevelopment, because you cannot throw in tons of affordable housing into a pilot program. All right. And if it had to be done traditionally taxed, like any building, let's say there wasn't an incentive. All right. My question to you is, why hasn't it been done for the last 30 years? Why aren't they knocking down the doors to come to Hackensack and build 200 units and make 30 at a time of them affordable? Why isn't that happening? It wasn't happening because there was no incentive. All right. The state of New Jersey, not John and Kathy or Hackensack City Council, the state of New Jersey put together the pilot programs to incentivize developers to come to blighted cities like Hackensack downtown, all right, which were in need of rehabilitation, to rebuild and vitalize them. That is the goal of the project. And I got to be honest, we've done a hell of a job, all right? And we will continue to do so. But I got to take offense at the fact that you're calling me a dishonest person that I have no honesty and that I have no integrity. You don't know me from Adam, Miss Rucker, and I don't know you from Adam. I wouldn't sit here and call you a liar, a racist, or the other names that you've inferred towards me in this council until I knew you. But because I'm an elected official, you are lucky enough to get up here and just blast us with that stuff with no consequence to you. All right. But I got to tell you something. I find it disgusting. And I really, you know, you don't need to apologize. You don't need to say anything to me. I just think it's ridiculous that you could sit there and just spew out hate and names like that, like it was nothing, when you don't even know me. You don't know the work I've done in this community over my 40-something years here. I've never heard of you doing anything in this community except for when you came into play 2 years ago with the work group. All right. Maybe you've done tons of stuff, but you certainly don't know anything about me. But I'm not the one sitting there name calling and inferring that you're.
Excuse me, John. Excuse me. I didn't call you a name. I didn't call you any names.
Oh, come on.
Mr. John,
Honest and lacked integrity.
I did not call you a name. I read a description. I didn't call you a name. I read a description. But
or is dishonest. You're calling them a dishonest person.
I did not call you that. I didn't. You didn't hear me call you that.
And I apologize.
I didn't even call you by name.
No one-on-one. Let's go.
Next, please.
Sorry. If you feel that way.
Yeah,
That's
I do
it.
feel. Person from the public.
I don't know if there's an order or we just jump in.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Whoever's next, just give your name to the clerk. City,
okay.
please.
Go ahead, Dana. I'll go after you.
Okay, sorry. All right, hi, my name is Dana Lynch. I'm from Hackensack. I've been from Hackensack for 23 years, like basically my whole life. I'm an athlete. I've represented through track and field. I did have a concerning experience on January 17th. It was by the Hackensack Police Department. So I kind of wrote it down already, so I'll just read it. I was parking my vehicle on the corner of Kaplan Ave and Prospect Avenue. I was parked there as I was waiting for my friend to finish purchasing from Jerk. It's the newer restaurant on Essex Street. As I was sitting in my car, an officer whose badge, name, and number I did not receive pulled up next to my car and did not get out of his car. Instead, he approached my vehicle from the window, shouting at me, saying, whose car is this? Because I have a newer car. He shouted at me, whose car is this? Is it registered? I said, yes, sir, it's registered. I just don't have my permanent plates because it's a newer car, but I did have my temporary plates in the windshield. And he was very rude and threatened to impound my car. I said, officer, do you want to see my registration, my insurance? I have everything you need. And he declined wanting to see it and still threatened to impound my car. I know this doesn't seem as severe or serious, but it's just concerning that he spoke to me that way. He didn't come up to my car window, as I thought that's what officers are supposed to do, get out the car, ask for your license, registration, insurance. And he was just very rude. I felt like I was just, harassed in a way because he was very rude. And I don't know, I just feel like I should just share that experience because I don't think you guys know what's going on by the Hackensack Police Department behind closed doors. They're using their power to, threaten our citizens. I'm a good student. I mean, I've been here. I never had problems with the law or anything like that. So for you to threaten to impound a brand new car that I worked really hard to get, all because you didn't see what you could have saw. However, if you would have just done your job correctly by coming to my window and seeing those documents, then the threat and all of that could have been avoided. So I just want you guys to know that there's some police officers that are taking advantage of their job. And I don't know, I'm scared to drive through Hackensack because I don't want to get pulled over and someone to threaten to impound my car just because, for whatever reason. So I just wanted to share that.
All
Hey,
right,
Dana, this is Leo. Do you remember the number of the car?
I'm sorry. No, I didn't get anything because he pulled off so fast. Like he drove up to my car instead of getting out. And by the time I could even process what was going on, he was already gone. You know what I mean? So it's not like I could say, hey, what's your badge number? What's your name? He said, next time I'm going to pull you, I'm going to impound your car, and then drove off. And I thought that was really, really unprofessional. And I didn't deserve that at all because, like I said, I am young. I worked hard to purchase my new car that I am. I am a woman, an African-American woman. So I do feel like I was pulled over because I have a brand new Mercedes, and it's like, oh, why does she have that car? I don't know if you guys would understand that, but I just feel like I was discriminated against because I was in a nice car. He talked to me so rudely and nasty.
Dana, by the day, By
Hey,
the
okay.
day, the time, and the area, the city manager can track who was it.
I have
Uh,
it. I don't know if
Yeah,
anybody wants.
Mayor, may I jump in for a second?
Sure. Of course.
Yeah, so ma'am, and I'm sorry to hear about your experience, but just so you know, the way, and it's important, I think that you brought it up and you brought it to the city council's attention. But, you know, if you are interested in pursuing this further, which is your option, the appropriate mechanism is you can contact the police department. There's a division called Internal Affairs,
Okay.
which is obligated to take any complaints of the nature you've made and investigate them, and they may
Right.
be able to determine who did that. Now, you may or may not feel comfortable doing that, but just so you understand it, if that's really the only mechanism to get any sort of formal
Right.
investigation and action. Even the city manager doesn't have the legal authority, you know, in terms of conducting internal affairs
Right.
investigations of police officers. It would have to go through that department, but they are trained to deal with and address those complaints. You know, we can raise it as a concern. You know, the city
Yeah,
manager can
definitely.
raise it a
That's why I
concern as well, but it's just letting you know that that avenue is available to you if you want to pursue it.
Thank you so much. And that's why I brought it to you guys, because I know that you guys are, you know, the head of Hackensack, and I just feel like you guys should know that, because me never being a criminal, I actually work for the state as well. I was just taken back that, like, you're yelling at me because you don't see permanent plates. I mean, I just got the car 2 weeks ago. I had the documents and there was a temporary plate in the windshield. If he would have got out the car, he would have saw that. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because I'm sure there's other citizens that are young, just like me, that are having even worse experiences other than being, you know, spoken to like that because you're, for whatever reason. That's all I can say is for whatever reason, because I had all the documentation to show him that this is my car, it's brand new, and this is why I have temporary plates. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention, because they are taking advantage of their job. And like, I'm scared to even drive through Hackensack at night now, because I don't want anyone to threaten to, you know, impound my car or tell me to get out the car and question me. Like, stuff like that really scares me. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Thank you,
Miss,
Mayor. Sorry this happened.
Mayor,
Yes.
can I just speak for 1 minute to her? Miss, if you have any inclination that you want to pursue this, call the city manager's office. I'll get your information. I'll investigate this through the channels that the city attorney has identified with internal affairs. We obviously want to eradicate that kind of behavior and make sure that people are treated fairly and certainly respectfully. And that clearly does not sound appropriate the way that was handled.
Right. Thank you. And I do have I have the date, the time, the street. I can give
right.
you the time, everything. I can point.
Right. I can track this down. If you call my office tomorrow, 201-646-3900, and we speak, I'll do some investigation.
Can you repeat the number, please?
Sure. It's 201-646-3900, city manager's office.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you.
Next person from the public, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Jurist. I wanted to say thank you first for letting me join the meeting today, and hello to the mayor and the rest of the council members. I'm here with my business partner, Len Coleman, who's also on this Zoom call, and both of us are from New Jersey. And I wanted to bring up the topic of legal cannabis, which, as you guys know, was approved and voted on in the state of New Jersey and passed with a vote of the people. And, you know, I've got a big connection to Hackensack, and I'd love to tell you guys about that. It's been a huge part of my life as a kid growing up, having a connection to Hackensack Hospital. About 5 years ago, I got involved in the cannabis industry, created a machine that creates cannabis oil in an organic process. That was 5 years ago. And today we're now 100 people in size. I'm from New Jersey, as is my partner, and we want to take our business to New Jersey, and we would love to do it in Hackensack. I've seen, we operate primarily in California, and I've seen what it can do for cities with tax revenue. Personally, and with our business, we've provided a lot of income to the cities that we operate in. And given that it is coming in the pipeline in New Jersey, I wanted to, first say thank you for letting us be here, bring the subject up to the council, and hopefully at the right time have an opportunity to present to you guys what we see as the benefits of medical cannabis, and what the tax benefits could be for the city, and tell you a little bit about our company and what makes us unique.
Okay. How you doing, Sam? It's Mayor LaBrosse.
Doing good, Mayor.
Good, good. Yes, I mean, unfortunately with this COVID thing, it's making it a little tough right now, but I'm sure members of this council, we can't do it all as a group, but I'm sure we can arrange a meeting sometime in the near future to discuss that. And whatever plan you have or whatever you'd like to speak about, it'd be more than sit with you. But
Yeah, again, I would say I'm sure there's mixed feelings on the subject, or definitely opinions on the subject, and I would love to hear what those are and just have an opportunity to present what I know can be significant tax revenue for Hackensack, and what I've seen actual benefits both personally on a medical side, and unfortunately, because it is a Schedule I drug still, which I think will change, limited research that's been done, but from epilepsy to cancer patients to Parkinson's disease, there is a lot of support for people who have those illnesses for legal cannabis, and it does a lot of good for people that have those illnesses. And our company is very much tied in with Hackensack Hospital. My dad, and through my sister who had cancer when she was 15, started the Tomorrow's Children's Fund. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Tomorrow's Children's Fund, but we've helped thousands of families who have had children with cancer, and it's been a big part of our lives. So we put together a group of doctors that are involved with Hackensack Hospital and some other doctors in New Jersey. We have some exciting research that we're working on that we would love to share with you guys. And so we're definitely taking a medical approach to how we look at it, and we have a lot of experience. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a large company and know what we're doing. So I think, given the chance to present to you guys, you'll see that we would be a strong partner for the city.
all right. So I look forward in the future, we'll set up a meeting. I would call the city manager's office and see if you could set something up. And we'll get two of us to meet with you. And we'll go from there.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thanks. Next person from the public, please. Hearing no one from the public, motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now that you've closed the this part of the public portion, I believe there is one statement that needs to be read into the record.
Yes.
Just wanted to remind you.
Sorry, I almost forgot. This is an email, hang on, let me start the thing, that I received from Rich Serbo on Monday, February 8th. Quick note to our mayor and council that in 2017, Dave Sims was the highest vote getter on election night until the following morning when magically Mayor LaBrosse came out on top. Sims settled for second place, but questions still remain, and Mr. Sims did not request a recount. Was there hanky-panky in the count tally? Was there human error in the written entry in the final count? And now Mr. Sims being replaced for the minor infraction of escorting his daughter into City Hall during the COVID scare. The public is concerned. The mayor should be forthcoming with the truth. Thank you, Rich Serbo.
Okay. Now I need a motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Steph?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I just want to start off by thanking our sanitation departments and our city workers for their hard work during last week's storms. There was a lot of snow and wind, and the roads were in great shape. In addition, there was discussion regarding alternate side of the street parking earlier, and we want to make sure that's feasible and fair for everybody. So just make sure you have your Nixle notifications on to be aware of any type of opportunities such as the Atlantic Street Garage and Riverside Mall parking. And, you know, as a city, you know, we want to work with our residents and make sure everyone's safe and things are feasible. Our schools are a few weeks into their hybrid model, and I want to thank all of our teachers and administrators and staff who have kept the building safe and welcoming to our students. Let's hope that we continue to practice our safe protocols and the numbers stay, you know, steady and low, and that our teachers and students will remain safe and healthy. While we're on the subject of schools, Mr. Geddes, you stated twice now that I should read up on the sunshine laws in regards to the Board of Education. Myself and Deputy Mayor Canestrino meet with members of the Board of Ed on a monthly basis and have established an open dialogue and continuous communication in regards to how we can work together, and most importantly, how we can help the students of our city. These are positive steps for all of us, and I'm concerned that you think there's something wrong with this, and that you would rather see no communication and or support between the Board of Ed. That just, and the city, it just concerns me that, you know, this would be a negative thing, because I think it's a good thing. Dana, any of our residents who feel they were treated unfairly or had any type of negative experience should always feel comfortable coming forward and not intimidated to contact us. I'm sure that our city manager will get to the bottom of it, and not just with the police, but with any city workers. You know, please never feel like you can't express, you know, any experiences that you had, good or bad. Tonight, as we celebrate Black History Month, we honor many of our Black residents and the city employees who have contributed to the progress of the city, including our police and firefighters, educators, clergy, and other city employees and volunteers. And the greatest part of living in a diverse city is we get to see these contributions firsthand, not just see them on TV or read about them. And as a community, we work together and support each other. And that's one of the greatest things about being, you know, raising your children and living in a diverse city. Thank you to Susan McVeigh, our health official, for joining us and giving us an overview of the status of the COVID vaccinations. And we're sorry to hear of the passing of Mr. McAuliffe, a former councilman and veteran who was always passionate about the city. I had the pleasure to meet Mr. McAuliffe on a few different occasions, and he was always a gentleman and a nice guy. That's it.
Thanks.
Thank
Also, I'm very sorry to hear about the passing of former Councilman McAuliffe. You know, he was frequently attended our meetings, always attended our Veterans Affairs, and, you know, has been a member of Hackensack for a very, very long time. My heart goes out to his family and friends, and difficult getting through these next few days and few weeks, but our sympathies are with you. Thanks to the DPW. I know you worked many hours round the clock. I mean, you know, thinking about how many folks have to go out in the inclement weather and be out there every day, you know, working to do the best they can for the city. As Ted said, this is one of the biggest snows we've had in years and years and years. And I'm hearing we might be expecting more on the weekend, which, oh, I wish it was spring. But again, we all have to understand, you know, that everyone is a human being and they're doing the best they can. So if they miss a street or they clip a corner, you know, they're working long, hard hours. And I also want to, you know, thank Pablo Achoripan. You know, he always seems to be able to call them in and give them something warm when they're out in the cold. And it's good to see, as usual, that the community come together to support our DPW guys. And we ask all of our residents, please continue to do the same. You know, the health department, thanks to them and to Susan, you know, we're trying to get a vaccine clinic going for Hackensack residents. I think it's critical that we can do this and reach out and support those that even are unable maybe to make some of their own appointments, and really try and bring the folks in who are kind of falling through the cracks. They're not able to get the appointments that they need. Unfortunately, you know, we have a plan, we have a process, we have staff. I mean, we're ready to go. All we need is vaccines. So, you know, we're continuing, Susan is continuing to reach out to her network. I have a great relationship as through the city with the medical center, and I'm in continual contact with them, and they are also as partners to the city trying to help us as well. So we have lots of people trying to help us obtain these vaccines, and as soon as we do, we'll be right out there publishing, and keep your eyes open for being able to sign up for such things. If you missed the committee of the whole, I think there was an interesting presentation by our engineering firm Suburban about our combined sewer overflow management process. And this is important that folks understand where we're going next. If you remember, we've been working for the past couple of years on getting the stormwater under control, working from the river up, because think about it, the water has to get to the river. So, we've now finally completed, the downtown area and Main Street going towards the river. The sewers are separated, the stormwater is separated, and, a lot of repair work and infrastructure was done, way more than we anticipated, but well needed from years of just being underground and deteriorating. And basically what they talked about are the next two phases, one of them being the Clay Street area. So, we're looking at something that is west of the railroad going up, and there's like she calls it a bowl, and that's actually what it is, because you have water coming down from the higher elevations like Summit and Prospect, and before it hits the railroad, those are the areas that are going to unfortunately have been impacted by flooding. So that's the area they're working on now, and they have a great plan of, again, bringing that water, diverting it and bringing it to the river in another way, bringing it not the way it was going, but having a new outfall into the river coming through Fashimi Park. And, we're continuing to put money into that, to get grant money into that. And I think it will make a huge improvement for the folks that live in that particular area that have been suffering through the years with flooding. And then the next thing, which is in the planning phase, is the Green Street area. That's another one of these so-called bowls where water's coming down the hill and just happens to settle right in that whole Green Street region. So we're planning and looking at ways to divert that water as well, get it out of the one place where it's bottlenecking up and making those two areas. Those were the two most, when our engineering firm did their evaluations, those were the next two most critical areas. So, the city is committed to continue to work on this and get these things resolved. All right, a few things on the agenda tonight worth mentioning. I always like to talk about anything to do with the development in the town. One of them was the 400 Main Street development plan. I mean, people hear about it. Where's 400 Main Street? Just to give you a perspective, 400 Main Street's on the east side of Main, and it's not up to the corner of Anderson Street by Sears. It's a little before that. There's some, if you can visualize it, there's some like low-rise older apartments that are there. So it's that particular area that definitely is in need of redevelopment, and we have someone who is interested in redoing that particular area. Another one on tonight was 132 to 148 Main Street. Okay, now that is on the east side of Main Street. If you want to think about, Mercer Street, we have the new project going in there, one of the larger ones, or the largest one on Main Street, and that's 150 to 170. So this is right next to it. So right next to where that new building is, going all the way to Demers Place. So that particular area, again, was one that the initiatives have started for redeveloping that particular area as well. One of the other big things on the agenda tonight, which was actually in the consent agenda, so it's easy to miss, but very important that the county is looking to do a major project. If you know, on River Street where the old probation building was, that is, adjacent to where our bus terminal is, right? What they're looking to do there is to develop that area. Now, going back, oh, John, what was it? Easy 6-7 years ago, this was an initiative that the city had come up with, and we had a similar plan where the bus terminal would be totally redone. It would be able to house more buses. We wouldn't have, buses sitting and idling throughout the city, and it would be a very much updated and much more efficiently run operation in the bus terminal. And then in addition to that was going to be some parking for the city. And when we proposed it, we were going to be doing affordable housing there as well. The county is doing something similarly. They're going to have the bus terminal. They're going to have, I think 212 or in the 200 area anyway, parking spaces that will mainly be for their use during the day, but evenings and weekends, hopefully there'll be some shared parking so that the city, people that come to visit the city can also use that for parking. And they're looking at building 96 moderate units. So, they're not the affordables that we were looking to do, but they are supposedly moderate. And they're calling this workforce share type unit, where they would be looking at folks, lower salaried employees. That is a way to start. They're starting in their career, and their salaries need to be compensatory with rents. And I think it's going to be a very, very, very good project. The part of it that makes the city be more involved is yes, the county owns the probation site, but the city owns the bus terminal. So it kind of has to be a collaborative effort for the city to actually turn over the bus terminal properties to the county. And that's what you're seeing involved here. So, of course, I always like to talk to everyone, what makes this a great project? It makes it a great project because the city is getting a lot here. We're getting, again, a huge improvement in the transportation center. We're getting modern income housing. We're getting more parking, shared parking revenue. And it's also going to have some offices for the county. And there's a potential that they may even be able to put some retail in there too when they're finished with their design. So we also would be having a small, but a pilot on the residential component. So the city would be looking at something like around $150,000 a year coming in as additional revenue to the city for those 96 units. So again, another plus, more revenue coming into the town. A couple other things that the city asked for is during this negotiation, we said, there's some county infrastructure that we feel really needs to be updated to support what's going on in the city. And one of those was some paving and some roadway improvements in the city. Last year, the county did a significant amount of paving throughout the county, but unfortunately, none of it was done, in the city of Hackensack. And, this year we're really looking to get Essex Street, Passaic Street, some First Street, some of the streets that, have been neglected for a long time paved. So, they're giving us our commitment that we're on their priority list for those streets. And the additional part we talked about was we have concerns with River Street. River Street, there's really virtually no crosswalks painted in. There's always a man that comes, an individual, I'm forgetting his last name now, but that comes and frequently talks about crosswalks. Well, he should be happy. What's his name?
Martin.
Okay, we're talking about asking for crosswalks on River Street. I checked with the police department, and in the last 5 years, we've had 36 pedestrian accidents. So 36 different pedestrians have been struck in attempting to cross River Street in the last 5 years. And of those 36, 2 of them were fatal injuries. So, it's tough crossing River Street. And, I had some photos of some really great striping that was done in Englewood by the county on some of their streets there that I think would really elevate everyone's awareness that folks would be crossing, especially going back and forth to the bus terminal. You get off the bus on one side of the street. When you're going home, you got to cross the street to get to the other side to get the bus to go back home. So